Hi guys, I know you're all here to invest in optimal health. So how about I tell you about the #1 enemy to optimal health that most of you are not even aware of and what you can do about it. Tim kind of already talked about it a little bit. So first of all, who am I? So when I'm not looking like a cool teenage skateboarder, I'm actually doing some, nice work in the clinic. And my name is Dr. Dominik Nischwitz, also known as Dr. Dom. And I'm very happy to be here and speak in front of you. And I'm waited for this event for a long time. So in clinic, my thing is I'm an oral surgeon. We start health in the mouth. I'm an expert in optimal health. Like Tim said, I'm not really qualifying as a dentist, even though I was trained as a dentist in university 15 years ago. Ever since I started this, I was quite good with my hands and my fingers and I had the skills for the dentistry, but in university I was missing something. Didn't know what it was, but I was on my journey already to find health. I didn't know. It started with bodybuilding, started with fitness, started with you would say now, optimizing my health while studying. And even at the end of the thing, I didn't know what I'm going to do because something was missing. So now, 15 years later, I combined it. So we innovated a new concept. It's health starting in the mouth, doing all these experimentations that I did to get me healthy because I started to crash early. Kind of like all of these speakers in here, all of the like-minded people I learned from, all my mentors, they all had their own problems to overcome. So did I, luckily, in retrospect, very, very early. So I crashed when I was 20, got depressed. Obviously, now I'm a speaker, I'm an oral surgeon and best-selling author of the book It's All in Your Mouth. It's now, yeah? But it was quite the journey. Like Tim said, a biohacker, father of 3, fitness enthusiast or health enthusiast. I'm a skater, and the skater would also maybe been the problem in the 90s, because as a skater in the 90s, the lifestyle sucked. And basically, I was just doing skating, having fun, smoking cigarettes, drinking a lot, partying all the time, because it was just the lifestyle. And this led to me crashing, and I was chronic sick when I was in my 20s. Back then, I was like, fuck, nobody can help me. There was no internet. There was nobody here that could talk about it. You were just like, okay, you're depressed now. What can I do next? And most doctors I went to were like, nah, sorry, that's it, bro. And I was like, no, what? I just want to be normal again. Can you not just help me be normal again or become normal again? I knew what it was to feel like, but it was just the opposite. So I just started searching for it, became curious, took me years, started with bodybuilding, training, nutrition, supplementation, already early 2000s. So there was no biohacking, no health optimization. But because of this, I wanted to have systems created that basically, or my love language nowadays is I create systems that would have helped this 20-year-old dude to get his health back. So that's why I founded the clinic, the DNA Health&Aesthetics Center for Biological Dentistry back in 2015, basically together with my dad. So it was his dental clinic, and we just upgraded it. So let's say it's the first European or the biggest European center for biological dentistry. I also founded a supplement company earlier, before that even, because it's just my nerdism. I wanted to be the creator of things that are as clean as I wanted to be. Subs Nutrition was in 2014. Those are kind of my babies. So dentist by profession, but I would say, call it a health enthusiast by heart. So, it took me years. After university, I was like, something is missing. I started with the oral surgeon. I wanted to become a surgeon, and he was doing amalgam fillings. And for my aesthetic pleasings, I was like, no, I cannot do ugly silver amalgam fillings. I bring in composites and ceramics and the nice stuff. And this was also, and he was like, what? Who's this young guy who just tells me what to do? And I was like, yeah, let me do that. So I had to dig deeper. And everything up until this point I did for my health, to find my health, nutrition, supplements, the basics, so to speak, they then just clicked because the heavy metals in these mercuries, they open up a whole universe for me, which is now called functional medicine, detoxification, which is basically biochemistry and the way how my brain thought. And I finally knew, wow, with this job, I can actually help people getting healthy. And this is what, in my opinion, the fulfillment of any doctor or health coach, you don't even have to name it. Everybody who's interested in health and getting to optimal health needs to look for. So this is how it all started. It took me about 5 years to look around and find solutions. And then I actually realized I wanted to become a functional medicine consultant at one point, just talking about nutrition and stuff. But then I realized, whoa, health starts in the mouth. There's something that you cannot biohack your way around it. You have to see a biological dentist, because why is that? Dentistry, which you learn in university, conventional dentistry, is basically a reparation thing. All of you know, guys, don't want to go to the dentist. Am I right? Yeah? Stand up if you like the dentist. Okay, nice. Nice. Most people are like, oh no, I have to go to the dentist, or maybe he has to drill a hole and it will be painful. I don't like to go to the dentist. And we are in the repair business. It's called drill, fill, and bill, and it comes from being oral. Yeah, that's the label we get. And if you look at movies like Hangover, you're like, hey, he's just a dentist. He doesn't even know shit. Like, it's not a doctor. You just repair things. And so basically a dentist is there to repair. And this wasn't enough for me. I was just missing things. And the industry is something that we need to change, because your teeth are an extension of your brain. Those are tiny little organs, kind of like your eyes, connected to your brainstem through a huge nervous system. It's called a trigeminal nerve. Has a parasympathetic part of it, a branch of it, has a sympathetic branch of it. So it's just whatever you do in there is not outside body. The teeth and the mouth is part of your body. And basically, biological dentistry means that the mouth is the entrance to your system. Everybody talks about gut health, about everything, but the gut starts in your mouth, right? It's this tube that starts here, and it ends here, and you have to check it. So a dentist's profession is by nature to repair, because you got your teeth to rot. What is this? If your teeth rot, it's basically just a sign of your overall body rotting. That's why we use, as biological dentists, we use your mouth to just diagnose the overall body. Because if you had a tooth decay, and do you know, guys, what is the #1 chronic disease on earth? Stand up, who knows? Okay, what is it? David? Almost. It's actually tooth decay. Yeah, tooth decay is the #1 chronic disease, and we are living in an epidemic of chronic disease. Medicine is dealing with health in terms of health is the absence of disease. What we're all learning in here is how to optimize health, how to get to optimal levels of health. So I say health in medicine is like it's 0, and most people lose health on a daily basis. They go to the minus. But now when you start investing into optimal health, you want to get some, let's say, dividends. Yeah, you never should lose health in the first place. So that's a lot to do with epigenetics, and basically all the talks in here today were about epigenetics. That means how our genes act in this kind of unnatural environment and how to hack our way to make it more natural again. That's basically what biohacking or health optimization is. Yeah? So Tim basically just summarized it perfectly. Nowadays you have stress. Stress is the main trigger for chronic disease. You see, this chronic disease is not what we're talking about in the media. In the media we talk about pandemics and stuff, but the epidemics is chronic disease. That means people are suffering from a few little things. They are not just optimal healthy. They maybe have a chronic neck issue. They maybe cannot sleep. They maybe are infertile, whatever. That's just a chronic problem, and there is no single pill for that ill. Yeah, medicine is perfect when it comes to acute things. If I break my arm, I go to the clinic, they will fix it. If a car accident, they fix it. But chronic things, like who can help you as a doctor most likely when you can't sleep? And if you feel like shit, or if you're depressed. And here you see, this is it's the New England Journal of Medicine. The New England Journal of Medicine is top peer reviewed. And this study is 20 years ago. 20 years ago, it's already, you can see, within the last 50 years, chronic disease, in this case, autoimmune problems, just quadrupled. So when I was a kid, there was one freak in school who had glasses. Now it's like 80% who have glasses. There was one dude with a bigger belly. Now it's like the opposite. It all changes. There was one guy, maybe, or a girl who had hay fever. We just made fun of them as kids. Sorry about that. I was a bully too. But now it's like 80% have hay fever. All my kids have hay fever. They get tooth decay. that didn't exist. And I'm only 39, so I don't know, before. And you can see it also on blood work. Like the blood work changes annually. Just one example is the testosterone level of men. Men, for the last 50 years, dropped 1 point per year in average. So basically, we're having 50% less testosterone, male hormone, than my parents in the same age, which is insane. So, and this is all the environment and how it plays a role into it. And why the mouth is so important is because you had repair done from a dentist. You had stuff installed for biting that is unnatural. That's not the way how you get to Earth. It's not the way how you come out of the womb of your mom. You don't have a metal implant. You don't have a root canal. You are just healthy. But for reparations, we install as dentists stuff that might trigger your immune system, that might is an allergen, that might stresses your immune system 24/7. So basically, it's putting you into chronic stress, like your nutrition, like basically all the things Tim just said. He just already said everything. All the little triggers, could be the email in the morning. Basically, we have a system inside of us. We are hunters and gatherers from our genetics. It didn't really change, but the environment, we changed within 100 years extremely. So usually we would run around naked at the equator, maybe have a little bit covered, have sun all day long, and the only stress you would experience is if there's a saber-toothed tiger in front of you, and then all the panic alarm clocks go on and you just run. That's what it's there for. Fear, fuck everything else and run, you know. But this weird system goes on a daily basis every day. Could be the email in the morning, could be the gluten, could be the refined oils, could be stuff in your mouth. For example, metals, root canals, cavitations, all these little things. So you have to understand the concept of stress, especially if it's chronic. Because all the things that are acute, you know it. It hurts, you have to see a doctor, anything is broke, just fix it. But if it gets chronic, your body kind of gets used to it, dumpens down the receptors, and you don't even feel it anymore. Yeah, I see patients with inflamed, like let's say root canals, they have cysts as big as, let's say 2 peas or whatever, like huge, and the dentist asks for 20 years, is it hurting? And they said, no, it doesn't hurt. Okay, then we just monitor it. So, and I'm not blaming dentists here, not at all. Those are all my friends, and every dentist in here, who is a dentist in here? Yes, there are a few. I'm always looking for the young and wild dentists that want to change something, because if you change your mindset and you're not just in the repair business, but you melt it now. Biological dentistry is the melting pot of high-tech dentistry, which means we use biocompatible materials to repair because we have to, unfortunately, functional medicine, and health optimization / biohacking, which is basically the same, to get you out of stress. Because everything we did today, or we heard today, like Chris said it, Ben said it, Tim said it, there's so many things you can do on a daily basis to hack your life. The 80% you can all do already, and I'm not here to scare you because of the enemies I'm just talking about. I'm here to actually inform you, inform all the dentists, so that we have better solutions now, and also what you can do already. So like, if you have your nutrition covered, you don't eat gluten anymore, you skip the core 4, which I call gluten, sugar, refined vegetable oils, and conventional dairy, so you don't lose health in the first place. You go outside, you ground, you do the plant-based medicine, you eat raw liver, you take your supplements, you do the grounding, you do all the things that we learned about, but you still feel like shit, then something is missing, right? And I want to know, and I want to tell you now what it is, the #1 health enemy, in my opinion, that keeps you in this ongoing vicious cycle of immune system being in stress, high cortisol, high stress environment, blocked immune system, and what you can do about it, and why you still maybe feel like shit, and how it all works, because it's the same language. We talk about cytokines here, talk about toxins. It's the same, but it is in your mouth 24/7, and you cannot biohack your way around it. It's just not possible. But you can do a lot of preparation. I will show you, don't freak out. So what are the 3 health killers that I'm always talking about? And this is like active time now, guys, because I know it's getting late, it's already 5, and your lunch was hacked, so you're not having postprandial tiredness, luckily, and a lot of you are still in there. So the health killers. Who of you ever had a metal placed in their mouth? Could be gold, could be amalgam, could be a titanium implant. Stand up. Dude, it's like almost everybody. Stay. Don't go down. Okay, who of you ever had a root canal treatment? This is a pain treatment. Any of you had a root canal in their mouth? Some of you might not even be sure of. You had massive pain. The dentist did something to keep the tooth. Okay, and the last question I ask, who of you guys had their wisdom teeth removed? Oh, man. Yeah, there you go. I would say like a elaborate guess is at least 80% in this audience have some problem in their mouth that might hold all of you back from optimal health. A splinter that we have to take out, yeah, like the root source of our problems. You can all sit down again. Thanks for helping me here. So the number one health killer, and they're not in a particular order, it doesn't even matter, but I always start with the metals because it very well fits into what we heard today with all the EMFs. Electromagnetic fields are a big thing. We have to really do something to hack it because here's Wi-Fi, here's 3G, here's 4G, here's 5G, here's antennas, and metals in your mouth were just normal in, let's say, the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. We couldn't do anything against. There was no other materials. You had to go with amalgam filling. But it was another environment. There was no EMFs. There was no cell phone radiation. It wasn't there. So it was probably easier for your immune system to cope with it. Nowadays, the stressor just exploded. Ever since 2008, the EMF levels just, like what we had before on like the ceiling, it just passed like 15 years ago. It's just extreme. So metals, why are they problematic? We have the amalgam fillings. This is the stuff that got me, and it's like, this is so ugly. How can I ever place this in anybody's mouth? Because I'm always interested in health and aesthetics. It's also the clinic's name, because I believe a healthy body is also aesthetic. This looks like shit, but it's just old school, and there was no other alternative. And actually, until 2018, this one was labeled a silver filling, which is just marketing. Ever since 2018, since the Miami Convention, they're not allowed to say that anymore, because it's an amalgam filling, and amalgam means it's 50% mercury. Do you know what mercury is? Hands? Yes? Yes. Mercury is the most toxic, non-radioactive element known to man. It shouldn't be on the top surface of the world anyways. It's not possible nowadays to get an environment free of mercury, so it's all there, but the main source for mercury toxicity is in your mouth if you had these fillings. It doesn't make any sense for you guys in here to do any sort of heavy metal chelation protocol if there's this in your mouth, because this will wreak havoc. So that's really important. So we have a toxin, mercury. It could also be a gold filling, and people say, oh, gold is very nice stuff. It's very good, but it's an alloy. It's different things. Basically, your immune system is there to fight foreign materials. It's not used to have. There shouldn't be gold in your body. It's just not there. It doesn't have any function. So gold is another problem. And then you have. So an implant is basically if you lost a tooth and you need a new root for a tooth. And this is my specialty. I'm a ceramic implantologist. I was trained a normal implantologist, obviously, as a dental surgeon. And an implant, a dental implant, is in 99% of all cases, correct me if I'm wrong, dentists in here, is still placed a titanium implants. All the ones that do implants is titanium. Titanium is a metal. And you can see, it can rust. And Ben said it, and Tim said it, and Chris said it. We are electrical human beings. We are kind of like a battery. So if you have this one in your nervous system and you have a phone call, it will heat up, up until 4 degrees, leaving you with inflammation. This one releases more toxins if you have a radiation sphere. So it's just a different environment. It's toxicity, it's immunology, and it is a human antenna. I like this one. So there's a study, I didn't put it here, but there's a study from 2008 showing if you have a phone call and you have mercury fillings, you basically double to quadruple your mercury release. And you know mercury is the most toxic, non-radioactive element known to man because basically a contributor to a lot of chronic diseases. So, immunology could be an allergen. Toxicology, your body has to detox it. Your liver, you need binders. You need tons of nutrients to get it rid. And human antenna, which is, in my opinion, probably the biggest thing right now. Because you want to be EMF free, you hack your Wi-Fi, but you still have an antenna in your mouth. Big thing. Root canals. We saw a lot of you have root canals, and root canals is a fine art. Don't get me wrong, dentists. Endodontologists, they're doing a really good job, and those are for sure the better root canals done by a specialist. But a root canal is a pain treatment. It's actually just there to keep you pain-free. In the natural world, if you had if something of the tooth broke off or bacteria came in there, your tooth would naturally just pass the tooth out, yeah, your body. Just the tooth falls out and that's it. There wouldn't be a root canal. It's not natural. Obviously, I get it, why we want to keep it, because we want to bite on it. But a root canal, this comes down to how it looks like. This is my specialty. I'm a surgeon. I remove these teeth every single day and replace them. And it's not my bad that you have a root canal or had a root canal. And my goal in here is that at least your kids will never need to see a dentist. Never. They will never have a root canal. You maybe need it because you racked up your health and your tooth hurt. And what should a dentist do if you have in massive pain? Because the tooth is an extension of your brain. The pain is insane. You need to have that. But you want to avoid it at all costs. And nowadays, you just look at this. This is a dead body part. It was never a good idea to leave any dead tissue in your body. Just think about a diabetic foot or diabetic finger or anything that is, or like an appendix. An appendix is basically, if that blurs, you know you will die in a few minutes. It's an acute thing, but this one is chronic. It tickles down. It's kind of like a ticking time bomb. And your body reacts with chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is the chronic stress. There's infection, bacteria that's there. You basically have tons of anaerobic bacteria producing their byproducts, which are, again, toxins and can lead to allergic problems. So it's just, I always say, it's kind of like a splinter that we need to take out, and then your body's able to heal. Yeah, you have to help restore the body back to where it came from. And there's tons of studies. But it's not something that you learn in university. You have to be open-minded. You want to change something. That's my goal, too. Like everybody in here, we want to change the world. That's it. Because we heal ourselves, we heal all each other, and this is why we need to know all this, and this is why it's so important for me that you all other game changers know about it, because in my opinion, everybody in here should be able to diagnose a panoramic X-ray, to just see, oh, yes, there's metals, root canals, cavitations. Those are the fundamentals. They need to be gone. So you see, root canals are linked to depression, so basically to severity of depression and a lowered quality of life. Who wants to have a lowered quality of life if they know that they have that in their mouth? Nobody, right? But is this informed consent at the dentist? No, because they don't even know. That's not that bad. It's still because we have to change it. So it's because of another thing, like it's nitrosative stress, it's oxidative stress, all the things you already heard of. It's cytokines, it's toxins. It's a dead tissue, so it rots in your body, produces nasty putrescines, cadaverines that should be like underneath the earth. You know when you had like a fish and it came in a package and you have it in your garbage and like 2 days later it smells like shit? That's the same thing. So if you ever wondered why your mouth breath smells, maybe you have some bacteria in there that produce byproducts. It's like everything that rots. It just smells. Heart disease is totally linked to the bacteria in there. And also, basically all systemic disease. So if I know these things as a doctor and see how it all changes the lives of my patients, I get the moral obligation to help them and have solutions. So luckily nowadays we have solutions for this. This is where the ceramic implants come in. But ceramic implants, like Tim said, this is just because we have to fix it. Obviously this one would have been the perfect choice for you. This is your lifestyle. Your teeth are just a mirror. If your kids have tooth decay, that's on you. Didn't take responsibility. There's studies showing it's a vitamin D3 deficiency. It's linked to gluten intolerance / celiac disease. Just have to know all these things. And now is the third one, because all of you guys, I asked you, and also obviously it spreads, an infection, a chronic infection spreads. Within 1 minute, it's basically through the lymph system, through the blood supply, it's connected to your whole body. All the cytokines, the toxins, whatever, spread into your whole system within 1 minute. And then you find, let's say, the bacteria that you have in your root canal, you also find it in your brain, you find it in your heart. So it's really a trigger. So the last one is cavitations. Probably not a lot of you don't even know what it is, and this is something you don't learn as a dentist in university. It's just not there yet, even though there's a lot of studies showing what it is. And I all ask you, who had your wisdom teeth removed? Yeah, and there were a lot of you, probably 80%, because that's another, let's say, epigenetic problem, that we have no space. Check Weston Price, you already saw that 100 years ago, it's connected. So what we do is we take out wisdom teeth. Why? Because we can see on an x-ray that it doesn't have enough space. So the problem obviously started earlier with not breastfeeding, not eating the right diet. The teeth, or like the body was just having deficiencies while growing up, so the teeth didn't go out. So we have to take them out, the teeth. Most of you can remember their surgery or maybe have it like roughly in their mind. I know exactly. My mom said, tomorrow we go into the dentist and they take out your wisdom teeth. And I only remember afterwards I had like this swollen cheek and I tried to eat the Big Mac that my mom brought me and I couldn't open my mouth. So it was like, shit. And then I smoked and it inflamed. So I wasn't prepared, nothing. That's why we changed the approach, because in 99% of all cases, when you had teeth removed and you weren't prepared, your body was in hibernation mode, you probably were a teenager, you were growing up, ate gluten, smoked cigarettes, whatever, your body's just not able to heal, and over time that develops a chronic problem which looks really, really nasty, and it's another cave for microorganisms, viruses, fungi, parasites, toxins that is directly connected to this brain nerve, which also is able, so this is how it looks when you do the surgery, so I will go fast here, that all the toxins will be transported through the nerve into your brainstem, and from there on, it's all connected. So the mouth-body connection is huge. And this is a nice slide that actually is always the one that does the best on my Instagram. It seems to be very interesting for you guys. The teeth are connected to various organs. Basically, just look up for the autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic, sympathetic. If you have any sort of stressor, it's connected. This is obviously just specifics that were found out by using electroacupuncture 50 years ago from German guys. But you can use it to diagnose, oh, he has a root canal on the stomach meridian. Oh, maybe that's where the breast cancer is connected to. So you can really use it and draw lines. So in summary, we have the 3 health killers. We have the concept of epigenetics. You know that chronic stress is the biggest thing because of chronic inflammation, toxins, cytokines, immune system, the whole body connection. Yeah, we have a huge stressor there. You don't even know that you have it, even though I just asked you and 80% of you have one of these stressors. So your body gets into constant fight and flight mode. I have patients with chronic disease, they're in fight and flight for 24/7 for the last 20, 30 years. They cannot be healthy, just not possible. And this is what we need to all know and learn, because there are solutions nowadays, luckily, that we can do to help this vicious cycle. And everybody that comes to see me in my clinic, because we do that on a daily basis, I believe that all of you guys are on the same mission. So when you made it to me on my chair, I know you're on the mission to help you heal yourself and then use this information to help other people by starting in the mouth. And yeah, the clinic is in Tübingen in Germany, and you see it's the same concept. What we do is biological dentistry 2.0 is basically the overlap of all the high-tech dentistry things, the ceramic implants, the metal-free, the removal of the metals with protection. But what we do is we prepare our patients. Nobody can see me without being prepared for at least 6 to 8 weeks. If you biohackers, you probably be prepared already very good. You know it. But the lifestyle, the nutrition, I have protocols, the bone healing protocol, my nutritional design is the food design concept. So everything is there to help your body heal as perfectly as possible, and we have to remove the source at one point. But so that you don't freak out, because all of you have the problem, start with all this. Recovery, back to nature, lifestyle, diet, nutrition, deficiencies, to compensate for it. Prepare yourself for the visit to a biological dentist. Get acquainted with what the knowledge is all about. Just get informed, don't freak out. Because the worst thing you could do is now, oh fuck, I have a metal, black amalgam filling, there's mercury in it. I go to my dentist and he just drills it out. And then you have even more mercury because it wasn't done safely. So you have to know why. And this is because you're on the same mission. I created an online course, which is basically the onboarding for all my clients and patients. It's now online course, it's like video format. But in this is an extensive booklet, kind of like the blueprint to optimal health, everything about nutrition, but everything about just the oral interference I just talked about, the health killers. And you can just download it if you use this code, QR code. And it's just for a limited time online, probably for the next 10 minutes. And then you have this 50 pages. This is basically my idea. I want to give all my information and help 1 million people at least reach optimal health. And if we are at 1 million, we do 10 million. And all of you help together to do this, because I cannot do it on my own. It's not possible. We need an army. We need all of you guys. Spread the health, and that's it. So thanks. If you have any questions, I'm on stage tomorrow, but I don't know, Tim, do you have a minute for questions? Take a picture, look at the Instagram, Dr. Dom, there's a link, the tab bio, you find everything there, right? So, hope I could inspire you a little bit so that you have to take your oral health seriously. You know about the strategies you can do. Ben and Tim told it already. Fluoride-free toothpaste, tongue scraping, coconut oil pulling, the basics. And yeah. Tim said 2 questions. Is there anybody who wants to ask a question?
So, do you sometimes advise some oral probiotics?
Not too often, because first of all, we work on the basics. So what we do is we start by changing your lifestyle, your nutrition, and you know from studies that within changing your lifestyle to a more ancestral, healthier one, your microbiome actually changes within maximum 3 days, sometimes even within 12 hours. I have a good friend of mine, professor at the university in Tübingen, where I'm working with. He is doing studies about it. It's insane how fast the microbiome changes. And in my opinion, as long as you have oral interference, metals, root canals, cavitations in your mouth, you have a dysbiosis. It's just normal. You have candida, you have parasites, you have fungi, you have mold, because they come to help you against the heavy metals. A mold or candida can take up to 10 to 100 times more mercury in their outer shell than we with our cells. But of course, if they come to help you, they want to have money for it. That's your energy, most likely. So first of all, get rid of all the interference, and then your microbiome most likely is good. And then you maybe look, is there something missing, dysbiotic-wise, and then you introduce probiotics. It's a timing. It's always a timing. Next one. One more.
No.
Who? You.
Where can we get this treatment in the UK?
So it's like this. I train dentists to become specialists in biological dentistry and ceramic implants. There's not a fully trained one yet here, but there's my good friend, Dr. Goran. I don't know if he's here today, but because he knows everything already. I have a fast-track answer on my Instagram. Just say UK, click UK, and it's always going to NDU Clinic, because he's at least covered the high-tech dentist. He will know how to remove your amalgam safely. He knows ceramic implants, so at least he has the high-tech dentistry covered. Not necessarily all the other steps. But all of you guys, and I met 2 or 3 of you already here in London that are young and wild. So you need to be trained, because you cannot imagine, the world needs you. Yeah? Trust me. We have a lot of repair to do because of the business of the last 200 years of a dentist. So we have to change it altogether, change the way how medicine and dentistry is done, and start investing in optimal health. And optimal health is a luxury, but you want to have the dividends. You never want to go back to zero. And it's all in the booklet, how to keep a ground. It's all the things that we learned today. The routines, the nutrition, that's the basics.
When you want to replace that, which is the time you take from one to the next?
So when I want to replace the fillings or the root canals? So because we prepare our patients very well, and in the clinic we have everything. We have IVs, we have laser, we have hyperbaric. It's a full cutting-edge clinic, so we make sure to prepare our patients as well as possible so that we can remove all the amalgams in one sitting, all the metals. We have one health optimization week where we take care of your whole mouth. Complete metal removal, all removal of the root canals, placement of ceramic implants if necessary, plus the cavitations, plus hyperbaric, plus red light, plus different IV protocols, plus infrared sauna, plus everything to make sure that you heal well. And this is an ongoing health journey, and the impact that I want to have is I'll take responsibility and give my best, but you do too. I don't accept anybody who is not taking responsibility for their health and change it. That's why it always starts before and goes away long. But I want you to stay on that track. Yeah, we all want to stay optimized, right?
Cool. Thank you, Dom.